are oppressed. We are exploited. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
How great I am.
If you're some man of the rock,
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else.
Let us sing forever. Let us play forever.
Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside.
Ways.
Welcome back to the realest podcast in the world. I'm Osama,
My name is Mohammed.
and we're back after a month-long vacation. Doesn't matter why we're back, but we're always back. Isn't that right?
Yep, always.
Obviously, a lot of things. Before we start off our topic, we want to kind of send our love to Pakistan right now. They're dealing with a major flood in their country. It's not easy, but we do hope that we are sending our prayers down to Pakistan. May Allah bless them and may Allah keep them safe.
I mean, yeah, we pray for everyone in Pakistan right now. Obviously, such an unfortunate event has happened, and the people need our help. And whether it's through prayers, through posts, whether through donations, make sure to let the people know how you can help, be of aid, because if it was to happen to you, obviously someone from the other side of the world will take their chance to help you out as well. So we do not ignore them or lead them astray. We have to let them know that we are with them in all times through the good and bad. So we pray for everyone in Pakistan. So we felt as if we had to get that out at Ways because it's part of the duty of this platform. Not only do you hear our voices for the things that we like or don't like, but when something is going wrong as far as injustice or poverty or a nation being stricken, it's our job to make sure that they know that we are with them.
Exactly. And today, we can now start our topic. Pretty interesting, actually. We took a different direction to this. And I want Mohammed to actually talk about it and describe as how we came to this topic.
Like always, we didn't know what to talk about, especially the fact that it's been so long. The title of this episode is called Impulse Reaction. Why is it called Impulse Reaction? Is because when anything happens, obviously good or bad, you have an impulse reaction. And the reaction could be of a good sort, but at the same time, it could be a bad sort. The whole thing with this generation, especially being online, social media era, this whole age of the information regarding the internet, has obviously changed the world in a good way, but in a sense has also changed the world in some bad ways as far as like relationships amongst humans, societies and cultures and ethics, especially religions as well. And the reason why I want to emphasize this, particularly when it comes to impulse, is imagine this. You and your friends, you guys are cool, hang out every single day, go grab food, walk home together, this, that, and the third, right? One of your friends has beef with another guy from another crew. And obviously, you're going to protect your boy. The other crew is going to protect his boy. And you guys might see each other at the basketball court, at the local McDonald's, you name it and stuff, right? And tensions are starting to rise. You're cool with someone on the other side, and you guys are allies. You guys are trying to, defend the situation, try to keep it, let it die down before it gets any worse. Something happens, your boy says something to the other guy. Let's say the other guy punches your boy. Or maybe says something disrespectful. By the time you guys go home, not knowing the situation is heightened. Why? Because either your boy or the guy from the other side had made a post online disrespecting your boy's mom, his sister, or talking smack about maybe being with his girl and stuff. So even before you had a chance to really die down the situation, put your 2 cents in it and try to become a mediator with you and someone from the other side, because of a post, things had heightened. So by the time you go back to school the next day, or by the time you go to the next basketball game, by the time you go to that local Tim Hortons, McDonald's, you name it, not only has the beef gone worse, people are going to fight, people are going to pull weapons, and someone is going to die as a result of this. How can an internet post that got posted 20 minutes, 10 minutes right after a situation result in someone's death, result in someone being paralyzed, result in a family, a mother grieving for the rest of their lives, all because of people not taking the time to contemplate, relax, have patience, but because of an impulse reaction and having to run towards online instead of trying to focus and rebalance themselves, whereas their energy is offline, totally changed the situation for the worse, when it could have been totally alleviated for the better had they just relax and just try to figure out what is going on. What is going on? Osama, like we literally see it online all the time. The amount of videos within the past like 15 years of people being in endless fights, endless beefs, endless situations, all because of impulse reaction, going from like, hey, I'm offended to the point where like I have to say something online quick as possible so you know that I don't like you and that it's up. Like, all the smoke, I want all the smoke. Innocent kids are dying, whether involved or not.
So true. You know, it's actually funny that you mentioned that because, or like obviously off camera, we're talking about this topic. And I feel it's actually so important to talk about it because I think every one of us has been in a sense of impulse decision, whether it comes to love, work, beef, social media specifically. For me, like to your point about how people are dying because of other people's small mistakes, like I can tell you personally, I've never really mentioned this too much before, but yeah, I was in a similar situation when I was like a lot younger, where if almost in a sense like I was like Tupac, bro, like I had this Tupac mentality, like you beef me, and you're friends with that person, like now you're not my friend. That's an impulse decision. Like where's that anger coming from? That's just like one small scenario, and I think a lot of the things what kind of I look back at now, if you have a problem with someone, that's one thing on its own. But to take it on social media and start making it public, or for example, on a good term, you have a relationship, you start making it public, why? A lot of you guys are asking for the wrong attention. For what? Like, for example, one of our, someone that we know just recently posted a relationship post saying how much you love them. That ironically enough shows you that you don't love them. You don't need the world to know that you love them. The person themselves just needs to know that you love me. That's it. Like, I don't have to go, for example, and if I had a wife, hypothetically speaking, I don't have to go on social media like, yeah, I love my wife. I married her for like 2 years, blah, blah, blah. For what? Bro, who cares? Like, who do you need to approve? Do you need me to approve? Because I'm gonna start making fun of you. I'm gonna laugh. Honestly, by the way, this is going to offend a lot of people. If you post relationship posts, I'm gonna laugh at you because I think it's a joke. I don't think you're taking it seriously. There's this beautiful quote that I read, and it's like, privacy equals happiness. The most people who are low key, Mo, you happen to be one of them, are the ones who are the happiest because I could tell you, not a single person knows anything about that person.
And that's another thing. It's just like, you know, within this era of just like posting everything online, so many things end up as a result. And like you said, it's public, like it's online, like you can't take it back. So it went from being like a problem between you and one person or between like 10 people in total. Once you put it online for the world to see, not only does that like parents of that kid might see it, or their cousins or aunts and uncles, like you have the whole city, like the whole like entire state seeing that as well. And it adds on because people being ignorant and arrogant probably don't want the beef to die down. So in the comment section, instead of people saying like, hey guys, chill, it's not really a problem, like cut it out, like you have each other's phone number, talk, people are gonna add on to it. Yeah, you whatever, like screw your side, you guys are whack, like you guys are terrible, like we represent this, my block versus your block, like it just adds onto the fire. So when you see people from the outside, whether you know them or not, adding onto the fire, telling them like, no, keep this going, we want to see this, like we are entertained by seeing you guys beef over something that could have been alleviated by a single conversation.
Exactly.
It makes the individuals lack sense. It makes the individuals lack common ground, common reason to actually want to provide solutions and learn how to deal with solutions in all situations, as opposed to only knowing one way, problems. Like the classic, the African meme, the guy, I want a problem always. So it's sad, man, because like imagine like even us when we had our differences. Imagine then we had it now, like with social media and everything. I'm sending posts about you, mocking you or your family or culture and stuff, and like you're doing the same thing. You think that tomorrow when I see you at school, I'm gonna be like, hey, what's good and stuff? Like even though we're friends for all those years, no, it's gonna be like, yo, I gotta attack this guy even now, you know?
That's it. You know, that's also the issue because I think a lot of people think it's okay. Like, actually, here's a perfect example: Chris Rock and Will Smith, right? that impulse decision in that second. By the way, those guys have known each other for years. It's not like he was on like Chris Rock was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's not like these guys met 5 years ago. They've known each other for 30 plus years. Like they were in the business together. They were cordial. They were friends. They were cool. Now, we spoke so much about being impulse decision being bad. It is good. For example, let's say for example you're being disrespected at work. You're not liked. You're being disrespected. You have every right to say, I quit. I'm not going to work at a place where I'm going to be disrespected. By all means, you have every right. But there are some positive things when it comes to impulse, right? Because that's just like instincts, you know? But when you speak about the negative, I honestly, the yell Gen Z guys, y'all make no sense. Like sometimes I think you guys don't think of fear. You think you're like indestructible. You're strong. You're like, you own the world. You don't. There's always someone who's going to like kick your ass. Really not a joke. To your point, Muhammad, like about us, like, you know, us having our differences back then, had it been now, you're not going to go on social media and say, F your family, F your culture, and then expect to like dap someone up the next day. No, because now you not only dissed him, you dissed the whole nation. So now it's like, if, for example, someone, like did this one, Mo or myself, wanted someone from our crew, you're not dissing just them, you're dissing the family. You're like, all right, now you have me to deal with now. And now you have to confront. And the problem is with a lot of you impulse people is whether you post about your relationships, whether you post about your, work or whatever, which stuff should be private. You get mad when people confront you about it. But it's your fault for posting it to begin with. So ask yourself that. If you don't want people to ask you questions, why are you posting it? Makes no sense.
Yeah, so I guess in that sense, like, the whole justification process is like what you said, like, you can't control the reaction of the public if obviously it's public information. So obviously with Waze, with this platform and everything, there's certain episodes, certain things we talk about that you guys will really like, and certain things, and maybe like this topic itself, you totally disagree with. So however way you feel about it, we understand that if there's a positive reception or a negative backlash, we understand why, because obviously through our voice, opinions, and everything curated and putting it on a public platform, what we receive in return obviously yields such results. We understand that. But if we're talking about like individuals who are posting content, whether private or personal, public-wise, through relationship issues, business issues, friends issues, and all that stuff, and thinking that there's no consequences just because you post it online and you don't respect anything on the receiving end, it's totally false, because obviously you can't control the reaction of someone else. So if someone feels as if like what you posted was the dumbest thing on earth, and they keep making stories and narratives and reposting your thing and tagging you and stuff, and you telling them like, hey, can you stop like reposting my picture? Like, you're making it worse. Like, I didn't want it to be so viral or spread on. You can't control that. Once you put it on the internet, if it takes off, it takes off. There's certain things you can't control. It's out of your hand. The only thing you kind of do is trying to obviously kill the narrative. But at that point, it's kind of tough when 100 or 1,000 people have screened. Like, imagine, so it makes me feel sad, you know, like girls in high school or elementary school. And imagine them like talking to a guy, feeling vulnerable and thinking as if like he's the one finally. And that guy with his group of friends, like, hey, just send me a screenshot, just send me a screenshot. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm not going to post anything or whatever. Like, it's between me and you. Once she sends it, screenshot. By the time the girl gets to school the next day, or she finds out a month or a week from now, the whole school has the picture. And obviously dealing with such pressure, such immense pressure, some might result, unfortunately, in the act of suicide or depression or hard drugs, you name it. Why? Because people just don't care. People don't value the way you expected to value. That impulse reaction of someone who obviously has a picture of you, which is a very private picture, instead of holding it to themselves for their well-being, the first thing was to tell his friends. The first thing was to share it with the world. And guess what? Maybe he might not want to share it with his 10 friends, but he can't control how that picture spreads. He can't control how that rumor, whether true or false, about you, your family, whatever, spreads. Once it's out, it's out. And that's why we're saying, like, this impulse reaction. We understand with the internet, obviously, content is king. The first few people to report on the topic, especially if a big influencer, get millions of views, get such data, analytics, content, money, you name it. This, not in the third. And because of that, it's created a wave. It's created like a flow, a momentum of this is how you do it. If something happens, instinctively, just post online. Don't worry about what happens after that. Just post it online. But you must realize who you're going to hurt, affect before posting it. Take the time to think to yourself, like, is it really benefiting me? How? The money I gain from this is going to end. I'm going to spend it eventually. The person who's being afflicted by this, how are they going to end up in their lives? How are they going to be traumatized walking through the streets, being seen by others? Are they going to call them by their name first or by a nickname that's offensive to their culture, gender, status, creed, or religion? So it's just like certain things are not worth it. But the reaction and the impulse, that instinctive nature just to post online, that sickness, that culture that we have created within this online generation must be decoded for the better. If we don't, it's only going to get worse. Only going to get worse.
Yeah, honestly, like what you said there was just like perfect. I don't think I could have said it better. But you know, I look at it another way. We like a lot of people get upset or they get sad. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's social media, because people who created social media influencers, the people who have a lot of followers, they know what they're doing. Like, for example, I can post a quote. For example, I saw a quote recently that says, and I'm explaining why I say this. It says, when you're going through something, don't feel as if you've been buried. Feel as if you've been planted, because there's new things about to be coming. So pretty much talking about you're the plant, and you're about to grow new roots. You're about to go to new others. A lot of people think that they look at that quote or look at any quote and they're like, oh, okay, so I need to prove to people that I'm happy. If I can tell you, I look at a lot of kids these days, or I look at a lot of people even my age, and how happy they're not, just because they are thinking that they need to prove to their friends and their peers and their social media followers that, oh, my relationship is going well. Oh, I see Mo and his friends going out to barbecue chicken places. I want to like show that I'm having fun too. It's not a competition. Like, you need to understand, it's not a competition. It's not where like you're outdoing someone. If you do it, you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for other people. I genuinely really don't understand. Maybe it's because me and you didn't grow with social media that much. Like, social media was pretty much weak. Like, it's not like we can go on MSN and like, or BBM or Facebook wall and say, oh, like, F this person. Because at that point, it was kind of new. And like, a lot of our parents were like, you're not having social media. Some people actually have to make a fake account to have social media, because it was just like the new big thing for us. But to your point, even about that one picture that girl can send to her boyfriend, the boyfriend screenshots it. What you understand, a lot of people don't know, like, even when you go to work or when you go to like speaking events, when you have your own business, a lot of people might start doing your research on you and be like, oh, this person tweeted this, this person said this, damn, I don't want that. Nah, you're good. And that picture stays a lifetime. Before you send anything, ask yourself, is this going to like affect me down the road? Because a year from now, I may not do anything. But 10 years from now, it might come back up and say, oh, isn't this you? Oh, you weren't thinking. That's the impulse that you got to be careful about.
And that's an amazing point that you said that, because I was just talking about like interpersonal group dynamic aspect of it as far as impulse reaction. I'd even think about it from an individual sense. And by all means, when it comes to like tweets, when it comes to Snapchats, when it comes to things that you're posting, obviously the new thing is TikTok. You have to watch what you say, because even if you say it based on reaction of something to a world event or anything of that sort, like Osama says, you probably forget to delete it. It stays up forever. And plus, you grow as an individual, you mature, and you change as the world changes. Why? Because you gain more perspective and knowledge and information, and you're not the same person as you were before. But the thing is, if people see something from the past that you posted or talked about, they will judge you accordingly as if you were the same person from before. They will judge you accordingly to this. Like, imagine you're 29 years old, but the whole world is going to be like, hey, you have the mind of a 12-year-old currently because of something that you said how many years ago. They will judge you according to that age that you put out that information. Is it fair? Of course not. But that's just the world we live in. And that's why you have to be aware about the information you post. And this whole thing, like, even for myself, like, I remember I used to tweet all the time and back then and stuff. I eventually stopped. Why did I stop tweeting? Because I realized, like, once again, like, the world's going to change. I'd rather focus on myself. But at the same time, like, the stuff I want to talk about, the stuff that I'm tweeting about, it's irrelevant because it's not going to mean anything 2 weeks from now or a month from now. So if it's something that I'm saying instinctively or something that might have happened, maybe it's not the best of choices or the best use of words. If I didn't wait to contemplate, reflect on the information or gain accurate information, then sent out a tweet, then by all means, I have no problem. But if it was based on something that happened instinctively, based on a soccer game or basketball game, and I might have said something bad about that player or insulted that player's wife or family and kids and stuff like that, like, you don't know how the world works. You don't know, you might end up working for that person. And maybe a week or 2 weeks into the job, someone finds out that you talked crap about that player's family, and now that player's confronting you, and you look like an idiot because what are you going to say? Like, hey, I was 15 years old? That's not how it works. That's not how it works, right? So
They
don't care how old you were. They don't care how old you were. You're going to get stoned by the internet gods, God forbid.
You know what makes no sense is people think they can post on social media, yet they can't get reprimanded for it. Like, for example, I'm gonna use a controversial one again. And I'm talking about dumb stuff. Like, for example, if you post about your relationship, you're asking whether you like it or you don't, whether you comment or you don't, people to speak about your relationship, right? And because you feel as if you cannot get reprimanded, you think that someone owes you something. Oh no, they gotta appreciate this. No, I don't. I don't gotta appreciate you. I don't gotta appreciate that post. Social media was brought up to what? To promote and help your brand grow. People took it, the individual took it, they're like, oh, I can use this to like, now if you look at social media, just like competition between their friends, between their peers, who's doing what, who's doing this. Like, dude, I'm not gonna. First of all, not like I would go to a $300 restaurant, but even if I was there, bro, I'm not taking a picture of that because, dog, like, there's other people who can't even, like, for example, we just mentioned earlier in our podcast that Pakistan is suffering through a flood. There are people in Africa who don't even have clean sense to water. So you think I'm about to post me eating a $300 dinner for what? And it's not like for you to like say, oh, like you're being humble. No, that's just me. But when you post something on social media, whether it's someone you're beefing with, and by the way, they have every other right to now take shots at you. Not because you made it public, they can come to you privately and do whatever it is they want to, because now you made it public. You made them look like an idiot, or you made them look so small. So now they're like, okay, cool, you do this to me, I'm gonna do this to you. You're also bringing unwanted attention to yourself by doing stupid impulse decisions. Like, for example, you don't live in a world where cameras don't exist. Cameras do exist. Social media does exist. Things will get caught, whether it's 10 years from now. Like, people get caught after 5 years of doing something. Like, 2 guys from our high school just got caught on the news for stupid decisions they made time ago. So what is the reason as to why you're doing this? My question is, for all y'all up, 1 year anniversary with my significant other, for what? That's your 1 year anniversary. Keyword, your 1 year anniversary, not their 1 year anniversary. Oh, alhamdulillah, I got a new job. People you don't have to get a new job. Even, like, for example, Mo, like, one of my closest friends, consider him family. But even him, sometimes, if something good happens to him, he's not going to tell me immediately. And he has every right not to tell me immediately, because that's his life. He'll go to his wife, he'll go to his parents. He might wait 6 months until he tells me. But that's his right to do that. Vice versa. Don't be the first one. Mo just always tells this to me, and I'm going to tell you this beautiful quote he told me. The first one to speak is the idiot. So be the one that observes and listens first.
It's a measuring stick, right? So if you're posting online, especially let's say your relationship, and you and your couple, whether you guys are boyfriend, girlfriend, married, post content online all the time, whatever your intention is. I'm not going to go attack you based on your intention, what it is for, your whole goal of that point. my whole idea is the measuring stick. So you have a lot of people championing your relationship, supporting your relationship, wanting to learn from your relationship, and use you guys as a measuring stick to build their relationship and grow. On the other side, you have those who are celebrating, having bad intentions, wanting to do anything they can from the inside or outside to crush, destroy, see you and your spouse in misery. And what final act they want to see that through the act of divorce, breakup, you guys posting beefs, sub tweetings, whatever. Like, you have another group of people want to see the demise of a relationship. How cruel is the world that you see one side appreciating and the other side want to see the demise? And you see this through the comments. You might see this through people walking up to you, trying to deceive you, trying to seduce you or your spouse. It's people sending you intimate pictures to you or your spouse. Seeing people trying to, I don't know, give crazy messages to your children and stuff. Like, people will try any way, if they can, to destroy something that was so beautiful and beloved in the beginning, offline, that wasn't public, that wasn't known about to the world. Why? Because it's intimate. It was created. It was cultivated. The foundation was already built between you two. So obviously, if you're using social media to share the message for a good cause, by all means, just beware what comes with it. But if you're oblivious and you don't think it's possible, you don't think the other side has any form of power, you'll be the first one to be sorry, because those that love you are the same are those who will try to destroy you. All it takes is an action on your part to make them happy or to make them totally offended and disgusted with you forever. People are that fickle. Humanity is that fickle. We have multiple stories and narrations, whether it's through religion, your own life. You could do this to reflect if you want to get the answer. So that's why, like Osama is saying, like, hey, like, if you're really going to put yourself out there, you are going to put yourself as the measuring stick. Even if you live in a town full of 500 people, those 500 people, some of them are really waiting for you guys to be destroyed. And once that happens, you will see them. You'll see them celebrate. And they might come to you be like, oh, I'm so sorry and all that stuff and everything. But man, are their hearts telling a different story. And that's the whole mystery and, you know, just the perception and tricknology about social media and this thing. Like, how do you navigate it with having a clear sense of mind and heart and soul, you know? Because if you don't, you'll get lost and wrapped up all in it. Easy.
There's three, yeah, I love that. And you resonated a point in my head. There are three words that resonate with me when I think of social media: power, purpose, and change. Social media has a power that is unlike any other thing ever. It's more powerful than your friend's influence. Because you'll go on social media, for example, Andrew Tate. It's not about liking or disliking him. It's the things he says, whether you agree or you disagree. That's like the power he has. You either follow him or you don't. Right? When it comes to business, whatever he talks about, again, you can agree to disagree. Purpose. Social media can sometimes, like, you see someone, you're like, oh, I changed my purpose. I want to be a social media influencer. Don't want to be an engineer no more. Don't want to be a worker no more. Just because you see one post. And then change. People change themselves for a social media personality, which I don't understand why. Me and Mo have been doing this for 5 years now. Well, this April will be 5 years. And we have not changed once. We've changed ourselves to improve, but we never changed for the product to improve. That's a big difference. You change yourself to improve, but you don't change yourself for the product to improve. I'm not gonna pander for admiration just for you to like me. Like me or not, I'm still gonna do me. I'm still gonna be going out of my way, record, focus, and succeed. And those three words I just mentioned, power, change, and purpose, they're as relevant as they are today, because the power of social media, the purpose and the change that you start seeing with these people who want to be social media influencers of us, who want to be those social media influencers, are the same people who end up killing themselves, are the same end up people who start losing themselves because they want a certain lifestyle, which to them is not, it's not ethical, it's not actually good for you. You cannot handle this pressure. A lot of people who even have it can't even handle it. So what do you think you're going to do with it?
It's true. And that's why, like, the last thing I want to say, especially those to the kids, high school, elementary school, even uni students, like, you guys are those who are susceptible to the ways of social media, not because you don't know how to use it or navigate it. Obviously you do. It is your platform, this is your apps, this is your generation. But at the same time, it's the pandering, the worship, the idol worshipping to celebrities and influencers, to those who you guys love. By doing that, obviously you follow their ways and their systems, their habits and their natures. Most of those people do not have habits, sense of purpose that's very healthy or clear for people to imitate. It's meant for them only. And through that, it's a very destructive nature. And if you follow those habits and those patterns and try to imitate it on a smaller scale, the way it trickles down and affects your life for the negative, it's not worthy. It's not wise. And that's why, like, I really want to make sure that the kids understand, it's like, if something happens, good or bad, don't run to social media to post something. Really wait, have a filtering process about, what am I going to post? Is it going to come back and haunt me? Will I get a job from it? Will I get fired from it? Will I get into the school or not? Like, will I have beef with this person or not? Like, there's so many intangibles that comes around with making one post. It's the difference between life or death. It's the difference between getting to a school or not. It's the difference between getting a job or not. It's the difference between potentially meeting your wife and being canceled and never having a girl to talk to based on something immoral you said about women at that time, based on what you learned from your friends or something else, or a song or whatever. Like, one post can literally destroy your life. And if you don't think that's possible, do the research. Learn from the lives of others who've made unfortunate mistakes, who are young as well. Might not be in the same country or speak the same language, but they've done it. The point is, the pattern's happening because all this is new. Don't be the reason why someone should not do something for the harm. Be the reason why someone should do something for the betterment of your society. That's the whole point. So like Osama said, 5 years of ways, sometimes we take a break. And within those breaks, we have to realize that we must grow as individuals. Why? Because like Osama said, we're not a slave to the product. The point is to grow as an individual, to come back with a new sense of purpose, understanding, so we can cultivate our voice, platforms, opinions with you guys. Not to be a slave of the product, making sure you guys are focusing on the product at hand and that's what matters. No, because what's the point of us? The product is really the product is going to kill you at the end of the day. What's going to heal you? It's the purpose. It's the change, like Osama said, right? And that's what the whole idea is behind this impulse reaction episode. Do not focus on being impulsive as far as being reactive when it comes to social media. Focus on being patient, relaxed when it comes to contemplating what can better you, what can harm you when it comes to posting things online.
You guys thought we were done? I don't think so. We still gotta wrap it up. Please follow me at Kusa300. Follow my co-host Muhammad at Muhammad.global. Make sure to follow our page at Instagram. Also, make sure to subscribe to all our platforms. We drop every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Thank you. We'll see you next week.